Afternoon, Frank.
Hi.
Could you just give us the team news first of all for the Everton game?
Yeah, we're the same. We're the same as we were in midweek. Hakim Ziyech, we know, and Callum are out for around a couple of weeks. Christian Pulisic had a tiny bit of awareness off the back of the Leeds game, in one of his hamstrings, but he's training normally, so we should be as we were.
Carlo Ancelotti will be in the home dugout on Saturday. Just give us an idea where he ranks in the managers you've played under, and is there any attribute that he has that maybe you've taken into your managerial style?
I'd never try and take something off someone as such. You can be influenced by people, and I was heavily influenced by him as a player and as a man at the time. He's right at the top when I speak about the managers that I work with. For everything about him, his huge success he's had in his career at various clubs. And one-to-one, I found him a great coach, a great man. And as I say, he influenced me, and I very much look forward at all times to seeing him and speaking to him.
Frank, I'm sure you will have seen the players walking off in Paris on Tuesday. Did that feel like a big moment, a seminal moment perhaps in the fight against racial injustice? And if anything like that happened with your team, with your coaching staff, would you encourage them to walk off?
I'm not sure about seminal moment. It was an important moment, as all these things are, as the world moves on and we try to move in the right direction. I wouldn't want to comment on a situation as opposed to a possible situation in the future. We would always see that. I think everyone knows how we at Chelsea feel about racism and equality, and I certainly, as manager of the club, feel the same, and it's my job to be the front line of that for us.
Just a final one from me. The man at the forefront of what happened there was Demba Ba, someone that you've played alongside. What would your message be to him just now?
I don't have a message for Demba Ba. Sorry, I don't. I play with Demba. I get on well with him, but I honestly don't know enough, Dharmesh, to be honest, about the situation close up. So I don't want to get too involved in that. As I say, I just want to reiterate where we stand on these things. I think we've been very clear about it.
Thanks, Dharmesh. Let's go to Nick.
Hi, Frank. Good news on Christian then, if he's avoided injury. You must be relieved on that. And just on a separate note, just on Jorginho, obviously stuck to his guns with his penalty style and converted the spot kick the other night. You must be delighted with that and just his sort of attitude to everything overall at the moment, because he seems, he's whenever called upon, he's putting it in, and he's turning in the performances for you.
Yeah, with Jorginho, I think I didn't doubt his ability in taking penalties. I think it's normal that you take as many as he does for club and country that you can miss. He missed a couple in succession, but as we saw, he's taking penalties the other night for us, and he's confident in his style, and I'm confident in that too. So that's not a problem. And yeah, he gives everything. Vice captain of the club, whenever he plays, whenever he trains, how he acts. So I'm delighted with him, and with Christian. Yeah, Christian is, it's a work in progress. I don't want to call this an injury that he had in midweek. If the game had been a different type of game, it may have been one where I would have felt I would have used him. We know his abilities. That's very clear. He showed them when he came on against Leeds last week. I just have to find the right way to get the best out of him regularly and consistently.
Let's come to you, Moose.
Hi Frank, how are you?
Very good, thanks.
Just got a couple on Everton really. First of all, they started the season really well, but have kind of fallen away since then. Do you think it's a bit of a false dawn, or do you think your friend Carlo Ancelotti is going to have to take a little bit of time to turn it around? Because from the outside, it's hard to see why Everton don't challenge more towards the top six.
I just think that's the Premier League, and it's the nature of it. And they started very well. They've got quality players. I think they had quality players anyway. They've brought in quality players. They have a fantastic manager, one of the best in the world. And this Premier League, unfortunately, is unforgiving. I know they've had a few injuries, but we all have our own moments or patches where it's results are challenging. But it doesn't change my thoughts about how I approach playing against Everton. I think they're a very, very good side with great individuals within a really good collective that can win games, as we saw early in the season. So I'm focusing more on their strengths and the dangers that we faced going up there, which we found out last year. I know it was a different time, different manager at the time, although he's still on the staff. But it was a very tough match for us, and that should be fresh in our minds.
And in terms of the title race, I know you're going to say we're only in December and the title isn't won in December, but we genuinely have a really exciting title race between more than one or two teams this season, which obviously you're heavily involved. Jose describes Spurs as being only a little pony at the moment. Where would you put Chelsea?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to find a play on words with it or anything. I just want to say that we are happy where we are, but I know that there's a long way to go. I don't think it really matters too much the rhetoric. Jose gets asked about it a lot. I do, once, twice, 3 times a week, and you have to give an answer. I think with Tottenham, they've got fantastic players and a really strong squad. And the words are not that important at this point. It's more about, for us at Chelsea, how much we keep working and understand that consistency over a season is what wins titles, not matches until the middle of December.
Alistair at BC.
Hi Frank, I just wondered, just picking up on that, are you ahead of where you expected so far this season?
It was really hard to have clear expectations because of the variables at the start of the season, the COVID times, pre-season, new signings, some injuries, and I didn't know how that would pan out, and we didn't have enough time. And you'd normally have a long pre-season to factor these things in and try and work through them, and we didn't. So I think it was slightly false at the start of the season for us in some of the performances and results. And at the moment, we're getting very good performances and results. And the reality is we're probably somewhere in the middle of that, and we need to make sure the consistency is something we find going forward. So I'm not sure where we are compared to expectations. I always want more. That's just where I'm at the moment.
I'm going to finish this section with a question from Andy Sixsmith. Go ahead, Andy.
Hi Frank, just given how hectic this season is with COVID and everything surrounding it, I know Champions League is clearly an important competition for Chelsea, but how important is it to just have the Premier League for the next couple of months to focus on, given the hectic schedule?
Yeah, it's important, and it's why it was very good for us to win our group in the Champions League and get a real confidence booster, and then put that away until that starts again in the new year, and to focus on what is a busy schedule. If you look at our next 4 games, Everton, we'll go to Wolves, we have West Ham, we have Arsenal on Boxing Day, and you see exactly how challenging that is in a short space of time, because they all are really strong teams. So it's important for focus. It's important for the squad to understand that this Premier League is so tough and so unforgiving that if we drop our standards, we won't be where we want to be. So yeah, focus all on the Premier League.
Thanks. That ends the broadcast section. Let's move to a